Alright, so we're going to go over a couple of the parts for this build. And we've got Cousin Eddie's RV. She's a beaut, ain't she, Clark? So this was a file, I guess, for a RC car where you could cover it up. And I had to actually enlarge this file, I think by 2,000%. You can still see how big it is. I could have probably gone a little bit bigger, but I think this will be fine. Printed it 100% infill, black PLA. Went ahead and put a primer coat on it after I deburred it, just so I can see what left I have to clean off. Love putting the paint on there so I can see better. See what details I need to do. And then paint that up, make it look all rusted and junky. Then we have the roof. Came out pretty good. That'll go on top. Don't get too attached. We'll be taking it with us when we leave next spring. Yeah, get that all painted up. I think it'll look really cool. And then the best part was printing Cousin Eddie. Now I had to scale this down, I forget to which size, but I tried to get it as close as possible to the same size as the RV, or in scale with it at least. And for printing it on an FDM printer this small, I'm not mad at it. It actually looks pretty good. Just maybe putting a little filler here and there, and then see if we can get it to focus. There we go. Putting a little filler here and there, but mainly just paint it up. Make it, give it especially just a resemblance to Cousin Eddie, and have that sitting along with him. But yeah, so far those are the parts I've got, and get those painted up and the rest of it going, and we'll see how it turns out. So comparing the models to the VHS, I decided they were too small, and instead of wasting them, went ahead and painted them, kind of experiment for the bigger one, and decided to make it into a Christmas tree ornament. Used some fake cotton snow, glued it down to a XPS foam base to keep it nice and light, and then just added the eyelet and the hanger and glued it all down, and here she is. So went back to the printer, scaled the model up even bigger, reprinted it. Here is Cousin Eddie. Came out good again. Just added a little bit of Bondo to fill in a couple of holes on his robe. And then instead of adding Bondo or filler for the whole thing to get out the layer lines, used Mod Podge and just did a light coat over it. And then here is the RV at the bigger scale, both sides. And here it is painted up. Got to make it look new before you make it look dirty. So got it all painted, looking brand new, probably what it would have looked like before Cousin Eddie had it. So now we're going to make it look dirty and rusted using some raw sienna paint along the edges where salt would kick up and rust out the metal. Then added some ground cinnamon to the paint to give it that rusted texture feel. And then after that dried, added some brown around the rust areas to make it look like mud up along it, kicked up by the tires. Here it is, went ahead and finished all sides. And then as far as making it look dirty, just use some Georgia red clay, add some water to make it look like mud. Ended up adding a little bit of orange and brown acrylic paint to that mud mixture also, and then just spread it on, dab it off, and spread it on and dab it off. And then just keep doing it until I felt like it was nice and dirty and weathered and hadn't been washed in a while. And here it is, finished up with that dirt and acrylic paint mixture. The Georgia red clay really helped, I think. It always stains everything, so just made it look dirty and muddy along the white and blue. Just really helped sell the whole thing like it's never been washed and just neglected. Now we're just going to go into adding the lights to the VHS. As you can see, just using UV resin and gluing each light down. This video sped it up, of course, but in total, just doing one strand took me about 30 minutes.
Oh, talk about pissing your money away. Oh, I hope you kids see what a silly waste of resources this was.
All right, we've got it all assembled. So we'll take a closer look. It is standard VHS 1989. VHS is up here. Inside, built a little balsa wood box to house the wiring. Have a 12 volt inverter for the LEDs in the RV and the sewer, and then I believe 4.5 volt inverter for the fairy light LEDs. So, all right, of course, saw the RV and Cousin Eddie 3D printed, painted up, holding his beer can and cigar. Just acrylic paints on everything, matte clear coat pretty much on everything, 3D printed parts. The first section of this hose was 3D printed with the figure, and then the rest of it is I forget the gauge, but just galvanized stainless steel wire that I bent and painted and glued down and attached it to the 3D printed part there and painted it up. Just cut a small little hole into the box and the balsa wood box and stuck the green LED in there, and then filled it in with hot glue. That way it's nice and flat, you don't have a hole, and I think hot glue is a nice diffuser, so it works out pretty good. The same thing with the headlights on the RV, just drilled those out, filled them with hot glue, put the LEDs behind it. Did that on the headlights. The side door here, there's a warm white LED inside of there, and then the tail lights did the same. Drilled those out, filled them with hot glue, and put in red LEDs. Inside, I added some black EVA foam in between each of the compartments, so that way the light didn't bleed through, and you see the colors blended here in the window. That, and so it didn't shine down on the bottom underneath the RV. Made it look more closed in and no light bleeding out, so make it a little bit nicer there. Balsa wood box, like I said, the cover just XPS foam that I cut to shape and then glued on and painted there. And then VHS itself, no real major modifications inside, really. Just wound up the magnetic tape evenly on both reels, and then added all the lights.
You want to hurry this up, Clark? I'm freezing my baguettes off. 250 strands of light, 100 individual bulbs per strand for a grand total of 25,000 imported Italian twinkle lights.
So it was a set string lights from Hobby Lobby, 672 total lights, 16 strands of 42 lights. Inside, I wrapped 3 strands around each reel, so 6 strands inside, and then 10 are all on outside, so roughly individually glued using UV resin, 400 lights to the outside of the VHS. That way, giving it to the appearance of the Griswold house, especially when it is turned on and blinds the whole neighborhood. And then just added some on the back just to, so I wouldn't completely overfill in the front and keep covering up lights with all the wiring. But I liked this set. I mean, it kind of worked out well with the the number of lights, but I did like it also because a lot of the ones they had, all the light, or excuse me, wiring is either clear or white or gold. But I liked this because it was green and still gives that effect of like Christmas lights, you know, with the green wiring. So I did like that. But I think the number did come out pretty well. I assumed it was going to be too much, but I think it worked out really well in the end. So we may do, and it works and looks good. But yeah, everything inside wired inside of the box, and then just have it wired to the cord going in. And that is it. Very classic movie, especially for Christmas.
Drum roll, please. Drum roll.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
We checked every bulb, didn't we?